Start lying down on your mat. Lying down any way that's comfortable. Resting the hands on the belly and feeling the ebb and flow of the breath. So with the hands on the belly, feel how the belly rises and how the belly falls. Tuning into the wave-like nature of your breath. Each wave is slightly different to the previous wave. But there's a coming and going, an ebbing and flowing. There's something very fluid about the breath. It's not rigid. Feel for trickling your breath in all directions. So the ribs are also expanding, the chest, the shoulders are also feeling the breath. The breath's also reaching down to the belly, to the hips, to the pelvic floor. So the breath is trickling outwards, filling you up. And then the breath is leaving, trickling out as the breath slowly empties. Allowing there to be a leisurely quality to the breath. So though the breath is deepening, and it's also slowing, there's also time to allow the breath to move through you. In these waves, each wave a little different. Noticing the subtleties of the breath. Whether it's smooth or whether there are places that are jagged. One of the intentions today is to connect to the element of water. And though the breath is also about air, This fluid quality of the breath is like water. This wave-like quality of the breath is like water. There's a flowiness to it. And then to anchor ourselves with this flowiness, we'll also go for a light connection down through the feet. So if you have your knees bent, just lightly press the feet into the floor. Just enough that you're conscious of the feet, not making anything hard. So whilst the breath is moving, coming and going, there's a stability through the feet. I also find it really helpful to, when I want to steady myself, to send breath to the pelvic floor. And as I breathe, track the subtle movements in and out of the pelvic floor. Without necessarily controlling anything, just feeling the natural wave-like movement of the breath. A sense of how some things are still, like your feet, and some things are moving, like the ribs and the belly. We can be doing both at the same time. Bring your knees into your chest now and hold on to the knees with like right knee and right hand, left knee and left hand. And then play with moving the knees side to side or forwards and back. Staying connected to the waves of your breath. And just massaging the lower back on the floor. Moving the knees any way that helps you to just ease into and massage and soften the lower back. Feel for breathing into the lower back. Have a sense of when you breathe in, like the lower back can expand against the floor. Then let go of the knees, let the feet come to the floor, and stretch the arms out to the side to do a moving twist. Inhale, sending the breath down to the belly and the hips. Exhale, let the knees track over to the left. Inhale, bring the knees to the middle. Exhale, knees track over to the right. Inhale, knees to the middle. Exhale, knees track to the left. Inhale, knees to the middle. Exhale, knees to the right. Keep going in that pattern, but make it your pattern. Just doing this simple movement in a way that feels good to your body, in a way that feels like it matches your rhythm from moment to moment. Finish off next time the knees go to the right, and then roll all the way onto your right hand side. Lie on the side for a moment. Feeling the places that move, feeling the places that are still. And then press both hands into the floor and sit up. If you want to sit on a block or cushion, feel free to do that. Let's do a moving side bend now. Inhale and take your right hand down to the floor. Exhale, reach your left hand forwards. Let's go, reach it forwards to the right and sweep it to the left. Inhale, then sweep that arm back and come into a side bend. Exhale, sweep forwards, leaning forwards a little. Inhale, sweep backwards, leaning back a little if that feels good. Just keep going in this pattern. Enjoying this wave-like movement. Then come into a static side bend. Pause, still feeling that movement internally. Let the shoulders relax away from the head and the ears. Then let's do the other side. So cross the legs over the other way. Have your right hand on the floor. And then let's just start with the arm up. Inhale, spread out the fingers. Exhale, lean forwards, sweep the hand from left to right. Inhale, leaning backwards. Exhale, sweeping forwards. Doing this in a way that feels good for your shoulder, like honoring whatever range of movement you've got today. Feeling for your rate of movement. What feels like it works with your breath, with your body. It's flowing like water. And then finish off with that round. Bring the hands onto the knees. To just rotate the waist. So inhale and go a couple of times one way. So I'm trying to move my waist but not my shoulders so much. Exhale, go a couple of times the other way. And then just play with that for a few breaths. exploring whether you can get the waist to move and not move the shoulders. It's quite hard. I can tell I'm moving my shoulders. I'm trying to just move the middle bit of me. Great. One more thing, whilst we're seated, we'll do some shoulder shrugs. You could do this, actually let's do this all in half knee pile or knee pile. So you're going to cross your left leg over the right leg. Now, you might have the legs in this position, or if this feels like it's too tight and not so good in your hips, then have the right leg straightened out, but then the left leg is crossed over on top. So either like this or like this. And then we'll do some shoulder shrugs. If you find shoulder shrugs, when you start doing them, often like the shoulder blades can be sore afterwards because it's moving muscles that just haven't moved very much for a while. So if you're finding that your shoulders feel quite sore as you do this, just do it really gently and know that kind of over time this movement does free up. Inhale, sitting tall. Pause, take the shoulders up and back. Squeeze the tops of shoulder blades together. Exhale, slide them down gently. Inhale, sending the breath to the shoulder blades. Mid-shoulder blades squeeze in together. Exhale, slide them down. Inhale into the shoulder blades. Squeeze the elbows in. Squeeze the lower shoulder blades together. Exhale and slide down. Do 3 more breaths like that on your own, just moving the shoulders so they feel good and so they feel like they're freeing up. Feel for not bringing more tension into the arms. Arms don't need to be working so much to do this. Once you finish those 3 breaths, change over to the other side. So right leg on top. Either doing knee pile like this, or if it works better to do half knee pile and have the bottom leg straight, that's also a good option. Let's do this next round with a bit of sound. So on the exhale, just open your mouth and make like an ah sound, like letting lots of sound through. Inhale into upper back. Shoulders up, shoulders back. Squeeze tops of shoulders together. Slide them down. Ah. Inhale into upper back. Mid shoulder blades squeeze together. Sliding down. Ah. Inhale into the upper back. Squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the lower shoulder blades together, and then ease them down. Ah. Do one more set of 3 on your own. Using the voice to help release tension. Once you finish those 3, come onto your hands and knees to do cat-cow. Inhale, tailbone tilts up, belly drops down, chin lifts a little. Exhale, starting this movement from the hips, tailbone tilts down. Lower back rounds, mid-back is pushing up towards the ceiling. Head relaxes forwards. Inhale, tailbone tilts upwards, pelvis tilts the other way, belly is moving down, then the chest, the chin is lifting, maybe the head's lifting a little, and then keep going in that pattern. Rounding the back one way, arching the other way. Finding your rate of movement. Feeling if you can discover an aspect of this that's like water. Like the ebb and flow of water. Add a bit of forward-backward movement to this now. So now as you tilt the tailbone down round the back, bring your weight a little towards the heels. And then on the inhale, as you arch the back, bring your weight forwards into the hands a little more, bending the elbows. So exhale, round the back, weights moving towards the heels just a bit. On the inhale, arching the back the other way, bending the elbows, coming forwards. Doing a few more rounds like this. Next, we will do some abdominals. So let's do a simple version of elbow to knee to begin with. You won't need any props for that one. Then we're going to go on to doing. What's it called? Oblique toner over a block or a cushion or something. For this second one, you'll need something to put underneath your hips, like a yoga block, or you could take a stack of some stacked up blankets, something like that, so you can elevate the hips a little bit, like, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches, some of this, something like that. Some of you haven't seen that before, so I will demo that one when we get to it. But let's start with like a very simple version of elbow to knee. Lie on your back and clasp your hands together behind the head. And start this with both feet on the floor, both knees bent. Inhale and lightly press the feet down. Find that sense of connection to the floor. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders up off of the floor. Inhale, send your breath into the lower back. Exhale, lift your left knee off the floor. Bring the knee in a couple of inches and point both elbows towards the knee. Pull the belly down. Inhale, left foot on the floor, elbows to the middle. Washing your breath through the core. Hold the breath. Press the lower back down. Exhale, point both elbows to the right knee. Right knee comes in a couple of inches. Lower belly moves down. Inhale, washing your breath to the core, through the core. Right foot's on the floor, elbows to the middle. Pause, press the lower back down. Exhale, elbows point left. Left knee comes in a couple of inches. Gather the belly in. Inhale, foot on the floor, elbows to the middle. Washing the breath all the way down to the pelvis. Hold the breath, press lower back down. Exhale, right knee comes in a couple of inches. Elbows point towards right knee. gather the belly in. Inhale, foot on the floor, head on the floor. Let's do something different now. Exhale everything out. Inhale, keep the head and shoulders on the floor, but just lift up the left leg. Leg is still bent, knees over the hip. Press your right hand onto the left thigh. Exhale, press the hand on the thigh, pull the belly in. Inhale, foot on the floor, hand comes down. Pause, lift the right leg up and put the left hand onto left thigh. Exhale, gather the belly in. Pushing the hand against the thigh. Inhale, foot on the floor. Washing the breath down to the hips. Hold the breath, lift left leg up, right hand onto left leg. Exhale, gather the belly in. Inhale, foot on the floor. Sending breath down to the belly and the hips. Hold the breath, lift the right leg up, left hand onto right thigh. Exhale, gather the belly in. Great. Place the foot on the floor. And then if you've not already been doing oblique toner over a block with me this week, and you've no idea what I'm talking about, then sit up and watch this. So I'm putting something underneath my hips. Doesn't need to be massively high. Could be sort of one or two of these flat blocks or a folded up blanket, but it needs to be at least as wide as your hips. And then the simplest version of this is you just taking, actually, you also need one more thing. One more thing, you also need something to squeeze between the thighs, like another cushion or rolled up blanket. And then what you're doing here is rolling the legs to one side and back to the middle. And then to the other side and back to the middle. If you want to add a layer to this, you take the legs to one side and take the arms to the other side so the elbow comes down to the floor. Inhale, our hands to the middle. Exhale, legs to the right, arms to the left. There's an even harder version of this where you take the legs straight up in the air and the legs are going to the side like that, arms going to the other side. So you have options. If you're totally new to this and this feels kind of challenging, and it might just feel really easy and quite nice, you're just working with the knees bent. And you're not going too far with this. It's not about going into a twist. So Annie, don't go too far. This is just about going a few inches one way or the other. So set yourself up with something underneath the hips, something to elevate the hips a little bit, and then something that you can squeeze between the legs. That's really helpful because it keeps the legs stable as you're doing this. Great. Let's all start this with the knees bent. Feet the same height as the knees. Inhale, washing breath down to the belly and hips. Lightly squeeze the thing between your thighs. Exhale, go to the left, just slightly rolling onto the left hip, not going too far. Inhale to the middle. Exhale to the right. Don't go too far. Inhale back to the middle. Exhale to the left. Feel this subtle engagement around the core. This is about getting into the oblique muscles. Inhale to the middle. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the middle. If you want to try the arms as well, clasp the hands together above the chest. Exhale, legs go left. If you're doing arms, arms are going to the right. Right elbow can come down to the floor. Inhale, legs to the middle, arms to the middle. Exhale, legs to the right, arms to the left. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, legs left, arms right. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, other side. Do 2 more rounds. If you want to, you could do this with the legs straight up in the air, or you could continue with the knees bent. Finding your own rhythm. A rhythm that works with your body, with your breath. Finish next time the knees go to the right. And then come back to the middle and bring the feet to the floor. Rest for a moment or two with the hips elevated on this support. And wash your breath through the belly area. Feeling for bringing that quality of water. Saying to any tension you hold in your belly, you can dissolve now. Let your internal waters help to dissolve any held tension. Calling to that greater sense of water, that understanding of water you have from the sea or from lakes or baths or showers or rain or puddles. Feeling that sense of water within you. Letting the belly drop back in a really soft way. Letting the contents of the abdomen just soften. Then ease off your support. Roll onto one side and stand up to connect to the belly in a totally different way. Another thing I've been playing with this week is doing Uddiyana, which is where you pull the belly back and up and in, but doing that in a standing position, because I'm finding that really helps me to get into some stuck stuff around my diaphragm and to free that up. So I'll demonstrate from here. If my mic comes unstuck, let me know. So standing Uddiyana, so I've just got my feet a little wider than hip distance apart, knees are bent. You inhale and relax the belly outwards. Then exhale through the mouth. Exhaling all the air. And then I'm pulling the belly back and up and in. I'm just trying to suck everything in. And when I do that, I can kind of feel parts of my diaphragm. It's really cool. Let's give that a go. So standing up, knees bent, hands on the thighs. And it's quite good if you can I've got my heels tucked in at the top of the thighs, and I'm straightening out the arms so the torso is quite long. Inhale, soften the belly outwards. Exhale all the air out through the mouth. Then hold the breath, pull the belly back and up and in. Relax the belly, breathe in. Exhale everything out quite fast. Hold the breath on empty and then pull the belly in. Notice what you can feel as you do that. Slightly brace the hands on the thighs if you can. Knees a little bent. Relax the belly. Breathe in. Do 2 more rounds on your own. Sometimes it's helpful with this to slightly tuck the chin in. 1 more round. And then relax the belly, breathe in. Let's do a really simple flow now. So standing with the feet maybe mat distance apart for this one. Knees are soft, feet are active and connected to the floor. Exhale, bring the hands into prayer position. Inhale, stretch the arms out to the side, spreading the fingers out. Exhale, bend the knees, come into a forward bend. Inhale, stand up, reach the arms up. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, hands into prayer. So it's very simple. I'll show you one more round and then you can do a few on your own. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, forward bend, knees bend. Inhale, standing up. Exhale, hands into prayer. Keep going in that pattern, but finding your own rhythm with it. Feeling for the rate of movement that feels good in this moment. And the sense of how this movement's like a wave. There's an expanding and a contracting, an ebbing and flowing. And a sense of how that's really connected to your breath. Moving how your body wants to move. Do one more round after this one. And then come back to standing still, arms relaxed, feet hip distance apart. Feeling how there's both movement and stillness within you. Feeling how it's possible to be two things at the same time. It's possible to be solid and to be flowy. It's possible to be moving and to be still. It's possible to feel one thing and feel something totally contradictory at the same time. We will do now some B series with different things mixed in between. So there'll be a bit of flow, a bit of downward dog, bit of cobra, and different standing poses and movements in between. So starting at the top end of your mat, B series with a mixture of poses. Inhale, bend the knees, take hips back, reach arms forward into chair. Exhale, relax into a forward bend. Inhale, lengthen the chest forwards. Exhale, bend the knees a lot, bring the hands to the floor, and walk your feet back into a plank. Inhale in plank, reaching forward with the ribs and back with the heels. Exhale, lower down to the floor, bringing the knees to the floor if you need to, coming all the way down so you're lying flat on your front. Slide the hands 6 inches in front of the shoulders for cobra. Inhale up into a low cobra. Exhale, come down to the floor and then move into downward facing dog. Let's stay here for a few breaths, stretching into the back of the legs. Stretching one leg at a time. easing from side to side. With a sense of ease, a sense of liquidness, fluidity. Then step your left foot forward for warrior one. Lift your torso all the way up and set up the legs. So you've got left foot forward, right foot back, and left knee bent. So warrior one legs. Let's just move the arms a little here. Actually, if you have a belt or a scarf, this works really nicely. So warrior one, left knee bent, belt between the arms. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, lowering down. Keeping the shoulders wide. Good. So do 4 more like that in your own time. If you've not got a belt, just have the fingers spread out. And then once you're finished with those, just relax the arms, lose the belt, and we'll do a few rounds of bird wing. So for bird wing, set the arms up like this. Inhale, spread the fingers out and squeeze the elbows in next to the ribs. Exhale, elbows stay next to the ribs, but hands come out to the side. Inhale, hands come closer. Exhale, hands out to the side. Inhale, hands closer. Exhale, hands out to the side. 2 more. Squeezing the elbows in. Feeling this movement through the whole breath cycle. Relax the arms and come into a downward facing dog. In downward dog, wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your hips. Feel for there being a quality of water here. So it's not just stuck and solid. What small movements are possible? Maybe around the shoulders or feet or hips or knees. Then come into warrior one, other side. Inhale and step your right foot forwards. Exhale, stand all the way up. And have the right knee bent now. Left leg straight. If you want to, using a belt or scarf here. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, lower the arms down. Do 4 more, like at your own rate. A sense of this wave of movement and the wave of the breath being connected. Feeling steady in your feet. Then finish with that. Then we'll do some bird wing. So the pattern here is on the exhale, hands go out. On the inhale, hands come in. Exhale, hands come out. Shoulders are rolling back. Inhale, hands come in. Spread the fingers out. Then release the arms. Bring the hands to the floor. And if you want to do a half sun salutation, come into plank. If you don't want to do the half sun, you could just come into downward dog. If you're in plank, take a long inhale. Then on exhale, lower down to the floor. On inhale, come into cobra. On exhale, into downward dog. Next thing is a standing balancing lunge. Step the left foot a long way forwards and stand up. So now your left knee is bent and you're balancing on the toes of the right foot. So balancing on the toes of the right foot, and my right knee is a little bit bent too. And then take your arms out to the side like Popeye. I'll show this from the front. So left knee bent, right knee bent a bit, arms like this. Okay, inhale, straighten both legs and straighten your arms up in the air. Exhale, bend both knees and bend the arms. Good. Inhale, straighten both legs, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the arms, bend the knees. 2 more. Great, then bring the hands to the floor, step into downward facing dog. And then let's do the other side. So take your right foot forwards, stand up, and then right knee is bent, and left knee is bent a bit, balancing on your back toes. Arms out to the side. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bending. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, bending both knees. 2 more. Bring the hands to the floor. Either come into downward facing dog or come into a plank. Inhale, coming into plank or down dog. If you're in down dog, you can just stay there. If you're in plank, come down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale into downward dog. Stay here for a couple of breaths, just easing into movement. And then we'll come into warrior 2. Take a long step forward with your left foot. Stand up and set up for warrior 2. Let's do this with the left, warrior 2, with the left toes turned out to the side, right, left knee bent. Right toes are in a little bit. Great. And then we'll do some flow here as well. So lift the arms out to begin with. Wash a huge breath through the shoulders and soften the shoulders. Then exhale, bring your left forearm down onto the thigh, right arm up in the air. So extended warrior. Inhale to warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. So your right arm is down, left arm is up. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended warrior. Inhale to warrior 2. Feel the feet steady. Exhale, reverse warrior. Once more either way. And then once you've done that, relax the arms. And bring your hands down to the floor and come into a plank. Or you could hang out in a downward dog. Take a breath in plank. Have the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, lower down to the floor. Inhale into cobra. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale and step your right foot all the way to come into warrior two with the right knee out, right toe out this time. So warrior two, right foot is out 90 degrees, right knee is bent. The other side of whatever you did before. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, right forearm down, left arm up in the air. Inhale into warrior two. Reach the arms out. Exhale into extended warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended warrior. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, extended warrior. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, reverse warrior. All right, inhale and straighten up. Exhale, turn both feet to the front. And we'll do a forward bend. So turn both feet forwards and have your feet parallel. We'll do like a wide-legged forward bend. So facing towards the long end of your mat, both feet just pointing straight. And then come into a forward bend, just relaxing your hands down to the floor, or they could be dangling, that's fine. Or you could even put your hands on a block. Hanging out in a forward bend. Feeling the ebb and flow of your breath. Letting your upper body soften. Letting the shoulders and neck and jaw let go. Then bring your hands back up to your hips, lift up, and then heel toe the feet in towards each other. So, be sat cross-legged on the mat to begin with, just to come into a twist. And we'll be doing a series of static poses in this warm down, but I want you to still feel how the breath is bringing this ebb and flow and this quality of movement. Inhale and take the left arm up. Exhale, turn to your right and bring the hand over onto your knee. And then wrap the other arm behind your back. Close your eyes and make the most important thing staying with the breath. All the way through the inhale. All all the way through the exhale. Letting go of internal tension so there's more space for the breath. And so more of you can become liquid and less solid inside. As adults, life demands a lot of solidity from us. Can we let ourselves explore being liquid? Inhale and turn to the front. Exhale, cross the legs over the other way. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, sweep it across to the other side, rest it on the knee, and wrap the other hand behind your back. Closing your eyes and feeling your internal ocean. Because when you breathe, and there's this big movement around the lungs and the diaphragm, that will also create movement in lots of other cells too. And there's a high proportion of water in the body and in the cells. And this will respond to the tides of your breath. This will be subtly moving in response to that, in a dance with that. And then untwist. I want to do a neck release now. If it feels comfortable to stay cross-legged, stay cross-legged. If it feels like you want to sit in a different position, that's totally fine. I sometimes find this is really nice to do leaning with my back against a wall or a door or something straight, because I can just kind of lean into it and then let the neck go. So if you're sat cross-legged, switch the legs over. Then take your right hand. With the palm down, sit on. So I've just put my right sitting bone on top of my right hand. Inhale and lift the left arm up. Exhale, wrap the arm around the head. Catch hold of the chin or the jaw or the side of the head. And then lean. So the right hand side of your neck gets to stretch out. So lean towards the arm. So can you feel a stretch in the right-hand side of the neck? Using your hand just very, very lightly to pull on the head so you get a nice stretch in the neck. Now, if either hand feels uncomfortable, you can totally do this without one or both hands. Letting the head relax to the side. And wash your breath through any tightness in the neck. Wash the breath through the neck muscles. Let the head come forward an inch and you'll get a slightly different stretch. Continue to let your breath soften the neck. And then keep the head relaxed. Bring both hands onto the knees and let the head come straight forwards. So your head's relaxing straight forwards. Inhale into the upper back and back of the neck. Exhale, relax the muscles at the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders. Inhale and take both hands to the head now. Use your palms. Exhale, use the hands to bring the head upright. Great. Let's do that on the other side. So inhale and lift your right arm up. Exhale, lean to the side, and then you're sat on the other hand, sat on the left hand. Or just doing this without the hands if it doesn't feel good. Relaxing the head to the side so you feel an opening on the left-hand side of the neck. Washing the maximum amount of breath that you can bring through any tightness in the neck. Take the head forwards an inch. Notice how that gets a slightly different stretch. Then just take the head straight forwards, have the hands on the knees. Washing some breaths through the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders. Then use both hands, using the palm of your hands rather than the fingertips, lifting your head up. Okay. And now set yourself up for Shavasana. So however you want to do Shavasana today, whether you want to lie on your side or your back, or with your legs up the wall, or legs on a chair, whatever's your most restful position. Or if you prefer to spend this time in a seated position, then that's all fine as well. Doing whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable. The more blankets and cushions you can use, the better. Once you're comfortable, bring your attention back to your breath. The ebb and flow of your breath. like the waves on the sea. Notice how each breath is different to the previous one. Like if you're watching the ocean, each wave is different to the previous one. And sometimes they're faster, and sometimes they're slower. Sometimes there's a bit of a gap. Sometimes they feel dramatic. Sometimes they feel gentle. There's an endless movement, which is also quite soothing. And then tune into water. All the ways in which you've experienced water, whether the sea or lakes or puddles or streams or rivers or estuaries or droplets or rain. All the ways in which you've ever connected to water. Looking at water, touching water, drinking water. And feel how you know water deep within you. There is a part of you that is water too. There's a part of you that's fluid and not solid. There's a part of you that moves easily around obstacles and doesn't resist. There's a part of you that naturally flows with gravity from high to low. And there's a part of you that understands the subtle cycles of water as it moves around us, from the sea to the clouds, to the rains, to the rivers, to the sea. So as you rest, allowing yourself to rest in that watery nature. Allowing yourself to move internally with the water, wherever the water takes you. Trusting that internal part of yourself that is water and resting in that. deepen your breath in a very gentle and liquid way. And notice if it's easier to feel a sense of the breath reaching the whole body when you're connected to the watery aspect of you. As you breathe in and out, does that obvious wave of the breath also create a subtle wave within the whole body? Sometimes you have to relax to allow that to travel further. Just relax internally. And then start to move just in a small way. Easing into the fingers and toes. Feeling how your body would like to move right now. Maybe stretching out some way. Stretching out and coming back to awakeness. Or if you want to stay resting longer, you could just switch the computer off. And then coming back up to sitting.